I was out for a walk along the beach when I found them, a pair of pajamas just laying there, partially obscured by the sand. I decided to take them home with me. I put them in my closet, the pajamas I found on the beach when I was out for my walk. I had become curious about them and needed to look at them constantly. I desperately wanted to try them on, these pajamas, but it didn't feel right. They didn't belong to me, and I feared they might not fit. Where had they come from? Who had left them there? Why were they on the beach where I found them on my walk? I was consumed by these questions. I decided I needed to communicate. I posted a message on the computer explaining how, during a walk on the beach, I'd found a pair of pajamas. I'd taken them home and hung them in the closet, but now I wanted to find out who they belonged to. "Did you lose your pajamas on the beach?" I asked. I received 3 responses. A Saudi, a distinguished gentleman, and a woman, a beautiful woman, the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. I could see myself falling in love with her, raising children, spending our lives together, but unfortunately she is 2 inches too short. I invited each one in, and I told them my story, how I had been walking along the beach and I found the pajamas. I took them home, hung them up, and had decided to try to find their original owner using the computer. I asked them to tell me their story. The Saudi explained that on nice sunny days he likes to take his laundry to the beach. It's a more pleasant place to fold his clothes than the laundromat from where he has just come. It's one of the few peaceful breaks he has in his chaotic daily life. The pajamas were his, he explained, and he must have accidentally lost them when he picked up his basket to return home. The distinguished gentleman tells me that his story is similar to mine. He too had been walking along the beach, enjoying the cool sea air, when he was stopped by finding a pair of pajamas half buried in the sand. He picked them up and observed them. However, as much as he liked the color as well as their texture, he didn't feel right taking what wasn't his. After much consideration, he simply returned the pajamas to where he'd found them and continued his walk. The beautiful woman explains that she too had found the pajamas on the beach. And like me, she had taken them home. However, our story diverges when she tells me that she decided to try them on. While they fit snugly and were very comfortable despite having bits of sand stuck here and there in the creases, she was almost immediately overcome with a sense of dread. Instantaneously, her chairs and plates began to shake. Ghastly apparitions flooded her home and tormented her. She was terrified and understood there was a correlation between when she had put the pajamas on and when all of this terribleness had begun. They must be haunted. She removed them and fled to the beach where she placed them back exactly where she found them. I thanked each one of them for their time and for sharing their stories with me. I lay awake thinking through each story. They all seemed legitimate, but I decided my only option was to return to the spot I'd originally found the pajamas. Was it too crazy to believe that perhaps the Saudi was telling the truth? That he'd lost them while folding his laundry? And maybe the distinguished gentleman had passed them shortly after. Hours later, maybe the woman had found them, experienced the terror, and returned them. Maybe they'd all been telling the truth. Or maybe it had been windy that day and they'd simply blown away from that table on the beach where that man is always selling pink pajamas. There would never be any way to know the truth.